Okay, and I just want to show you what 5G does to myself, or I have to take things to the next level. And if you think this is crazy, well, this is crazy, that's for sure. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to one of the rooms. And yes, it's going to be all of it. You heard it correctly. All of my rooms. It's going to be this way. I'm going to show you all around. You see that? That's all tin foil, and that's only one layer so far. I'll show you in a minute. It's going to be double. And it's going to be 2 layers on this. And that's how far that I go to try to protect myself because of 5G. Now, comes to here, you can see all that. Okay? And this is brand new. We just did those. This here is that. And what we are doing is that we already put the first layer of tin foil. You can see it. Then we tin foil on the back of this. Then we put it up there and screw it. Now that's double tin foil right here. This is single so far, so the next layer like that will go right on top of that. And if you think this is crazy, welcome to my world. Ha ha ha. Now, this is for 5G, and you can see the window there. I have that. That's my blocking. You can see it fits perfectly right on top of there. And what happened is we're going to wall all this with tin foil, and then we're going to double it all around here. Whoa. I can feel it already. All around here we will put a ground wire. Remember in my videos I always said that in order to work 100% we have to ground it. And if you want to learn about grounding, I have videos up here. I'll link a you can go in there and search for grounding, and they just plug the plug in. Well, in order to have this thing 100%, it has to go all around here. A wire go around there. Then we're going to put that wire to the ground. Okay? So here's how things actually work. And I explained a few, but I'm going to explain a little bit. This is where things are. Okay? What happened is, this is similar to my new Faraday cage. What happened is, let's say this is the other side, okay? The other side of the wall. When the signal gets to here, it gets trapped here. When it gets trapped here, believe it or not, and I will be the first one in human history to say things in this video that you never even heard of, because I have made new discoveries on these. The particle, each one of those itself actually attaches itself to here. It does not bounce off. Remember that. It does not bounce off. It collects it. And let's say 5 signal right now stuck on here. It has nowhere to go. It's just stuck there. Metal, remember, metal attract wireless signals, or Wi-Fi or 5Gs or whatever signals. Okay, just say that there's 5 of them here stuck. Like on my finger, each one of these is one, okay? 5 particles. They are particles. Remember that. Signals, radiations, they are all particles. Okay? So pretend 5 of them stuck on here. It has nowhere to go. It wait until it dissipate, meaning it will die. That signal will die. But here's the problem. Another 5 comes every single milli of a second. They all keep coming at it. So they basically stuck. And here's it is. I will be the first one in the human history to say that eventually this thing will be filled up. Yes, it will fill up like a cup of water. Imagine if you keep pouring water into a cup. Eventually it will be filled. Well, guess what? Radiation does the same thing, but here's the thing. Here's one thing good about radiation, which is we all hate, but here's one thing good about radiation. It dissipates, meaning that cup of water will eventually die if you stop it. But here's the problem. I live in the 5G world now. Everything is keep on bombarding. So this thing was always filled. Eventually, it will bounce away. On the other side of the wall, it will start to become a protection. But the one that is here, it's actually eventually, if it doesn't pass us through, remember it's getting caught. And then it started to sort of like defending. And then it defend away from you. Let's say on the other side, remember. So then the signal would just here bounce off or whatever on the other side. So what you do is when you put this here, you put the wire in them and you plug it into the ground. So like sort of like a wire like this. You plug it into here. It has to be continuity. Remember this word continuity. It's stuck onto here. And what happened, this wire will go into the ground. So basically, we're using the earth to suck all that downward. That's the only way, the only effective way. People can feel these. The people who can feel these actually would understand this video 100%. The people who cannot feel it, they won't. But guess what? In this lifetime, always listen to the people who can actually feel these. Yes, I can feel them. I don't like this room right now. Why? Because I don't have my ground wire yet. I can actually feel it, even though most of it you can see it's all being protected. Even up here we protected them. Before we screw that in, that's double right there. This is only single. And when we start doubling it, you can see it right there. We work right there. We put them all in, and then we put them onto the ceiling. So that way, when we're in here, there's no tinfoil. But there is no wire going around there yet. Remember that. That ground wire is very important. I cannot stress that enough. People who can understand certain things, or people going to, if you take physics, you would understand right away. If you take a science class, you would understand away. Electricity, pretend it's electricity. Electricity needs to go somewhere. They don't just stay. They'll stay here until it's filled. Remember that. Like I said, I'll be the only person in the world that would explain something like this, that your cup of water, pretend this is your cup of water, always and always be filling. We just waited for it to die. Or in a cup of water, you leave it in the sunshine, it will evaporate eventually. But it's a waiting time. So instead of that, we use a wire. That wire will go into the ground like an outlet. Right now, one of our outlets is right here. It's being closed up right now. But that's what it is. Okay? So when you do that, it automatically sends it to the ground. So the ground is always sucking the the electromagnetic that is stuck in here, that's why they call it electromagnetic. The magnetic was stuck onto the tinfoil and then it goes to the ground. So the ground's always sucking it down. Okay, but you cannot ground this 24/7. You want to turn it on and off. So it's going to be a timer. Yes, you heard this again. I will be the first one in human history to say that you cannot ground this 24/7. You have to plug in and out. You have to put it on a timer. And I'm going to have to do that video later on, I guess, someday. When I decided to, you know, I guess you can say, make it. Anyway. So when you do this, remember, if you go on this route, or on this way, whatever you want to call it, the 5G way, blocking 5G way, you have to have a ground. I cannot stress that enough. But anyway, so I just want to show you what I'm doing with this room. Okay? And all of them, all of the rooms going to be this way. Here are the leakages. Closets going to be leakages. Wood going to be leakages. Okay? So with this here, I have no choice. I will only cover as much as I can. And if you're going to ask me, is the floors going to be done that way? Yes. We're going to rip all this up, not the floor, rip all these layering here. And we're going to layer them, double layer tinfoil again. Then we're going to put those fake laminate, but it's very heavy, so it just sits right on top of it. So that is underneath. So that is protecting underneath, protecting all the walls, and then protecting as the ceiling as well, so it doesn't bounce anywhere. Now that, the windows, you can cheat. You can get those insulation. You see this says R right there? Insulation. And they already have the backing on that already. And you just stuff it on the window. For me, I did that because I didn't want people to see what I'm doing inside my own house. Yes. Can you imagine? I have to do this, and this is my own house. So I put this on the other side. So it's like a window. So when you look in, it's like that. But there's tinfoil on the other side too. I doubled that. So I double that, and I put it here. This is double already, and I taped the tinfoil on the other side, and then I put a fake thing on here. That's actually come from a table. And then you know those things that you put in a table cloth, those fake cheesy $1 thing. So we put it on there so it looks like a curtain. Yep. So when you look on from the outside, it acts like a curtain in the window. Yep. As crazy as you can see. And I will tell you right now, I'm going to show you just out of my window. I don't want to show you the street, but right there. Right there. Okay? That. Right there. That thing. That's a 5G. Right above my finger. That's a 5G antenna. So you can see how far that is. Ha, ha, ha. You see how far that is? That is on my street right there. And it's crazy that I have to do something like this. You can tell by my voice, I am very mad at the world because I have to go through these lengths to actually protect myself with this. And no, I'm not going to edit this video out or whatever because I don't need to. But that's what I have to do. We actually would have to do all these in all these rooms, and then we're going to have to run wires in them and then go into the ground. We have a little box where it's going to have a little switch, and then it's going to turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. And what that does is that it just grabs them. So any signal comes to us, it will get stuck. Remember that. It only gets stuck. And we wait for it to die. Okay? But I want it faster, so I'm going to have a ground wire that goes to the ground. Remember that. If people say that you don't need a ground wire, yes you do. Because the people who comes in here can actually feel the ground wire. But here's another thing. Aluminum. It's not good for grounding, but I don't have a choice. Okay? Now, what else? Oh, we use just tin foil, just regular heavy duty aluminum tin foil. And then we use things like tape. You can use spray, that little spray right there, glue, to spray on the wall or whatever, and you can do that as well too. But in our case, I don't like that smell, so we actually just take the thing and just tape it. Eventually the tape will come off, you know, eventually, like I said, but it doesn't matter because the board's going to go right against this, and once it goes right against this, it will hold on to the tin foil. You see that? So when we double this, you can see it's double. Not double, this is single right now, but the other double comes in. We're just going to put the wire onto here, and then when we put the board on here, it's going to adhere to the other wire. So they're just going to sit right on top of here. It's going to be a plain wire, and it's going to sit right on top of here, and it's going to send that to the ground. Yeah. So we're going to put just copper wire going all across here, and we're going to tape it a little bit so it will hang on. And then when we put the other wire, the board on, it press against each other, and that's what it does. Okay? So I hope you get something out of this. And yes, I am very mad at the world that I have to do something like this to protect myself just to stay healthy. And imagine, I'll show you one more time, look all the stuff that we have to do. And we bought the sheetrock, and then we just took the sheetrock and just put against it and just screw it in. These things are going to be done later, so we're going to patch it all up later. But currently, I don't really need to do anything of those, so I might just leave it for that for now. You know, when this is done, because I got more rooms to do. We have to do more rooms in this house like this, and this is one of the small rooms. This is a small room. The roof is right here, so it's kind of slanted right there. But that's what 5G has to do to us, or to me, or to a lot of people. And if you watch these and how people blocking them, and you're going to be on this route or this route, I just want to let you know that I feel your pain and I feel your suffering. Because look, I don't need to do all this. And look at all the trash in there so far. We have wasted a few already. Look, see that? We have wasted a few rolls already. And no, you don't have to go this route. We shouldn't have to go this route. I feel, one more thing before I go, I feel like I am being violated, to be honest, because my air right. Remember, everybody has air rights, and because they're above us and blah blah blah, all this stuff, they take our air rights away. And basically, human being needs air, right? That's our air rights. So that's what it looks like. This is the hallway, and you can see. No, that's going to be patch up. Don't worry. I'm very thorough with my work. This here, this is the door. It's an old house. And then all these things, we're actually going to take fabric and we're gonna put on here the silver fabric, just to cover all these, the stuff that we cannot, we cannot work against or whatever. So that's what we have to do on those. And it's going to be the same thing as over there. Even though that's block, we're gonna put a fabric on that too. I'm gonna make curtains for that too, so it's just gonna not bounce through. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna absorb. Remember that word, absorb. And then even the floor, we have to do that on the floor. We have to patch up a few things. There was a big hole right here, so we have to patch that up before we actually put it in. Although it doesn't necessary to do it, you know, because we can just poke it up. But I patch it up anyway because I didn't want any air leaks. Air. Air. But this is an old door. We don't look at the handle. Even the handle's old. You see it. But anyway, so we're just going to touch it up after we're done. We're just going to touch it up with paint, and then we're just going to see this is going to our attic. Ooh, can't see nothing, sorry. That's our attic. So I'm going to just put a curtain on here, and it has to go all the way to the floor. Remember that. It has to go all the way to the floor, and it has to cover all these things here. So it has to go up top here, go all around here, go all the way straight down, and covering all that. Look at, we even cover the baseboard. You see that? Yeah. Crazy. I am telling you, it's gonna be the craziest video you're going to see on the internet. But that's the way that we have to do or go or whatever to block all these signals, because I'm in the city. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you learned something from the video, and I hope that you can see what's going on. And if you are going this route, I just want to let you know that I feel your pain and I feel your suffering, because you gotta speak to the people who actually understood things like this, right? Well, now you do, now you see it. And yes, there are more rooms that has to be done, and I'll probably document them again once I do all this stuff again. We will document all this, so that way you can see that what step that we have to take in order to protect ourselves. Like I stated, I'll state it one more time before I go. I feel that my air rights is being violated. And oh, just to let you know, when I'm in here, I can feel pain in my wrist and stuff. That's not normal. That's not normal. Remember I said about arthritis. Remember that. Arthritis is a cause. And right now I can feel pain because I'm so sensitive. I'll be able to feel them. And I've been in here only like about 20-30 minutes. So you can tell that someday people going to complain. One thing about 5G, the first thing they're going to complain is about arthritis. Going to give them arthritis. And autoimmune disease. Remember that too. Autoimmune disease. Okay? Disease is going to be caused by 5G or wireless signals. Okay, so this is short and bonus footage after I did the video in about 20-something minutes. I feel my head like about to burst, or something like tacking my head. So I had to make this little bonus footage. And I feel like a headache's going on. And I feel like my head is being squeezed. Yep. So if you feel like you are disoriented, if you feel like when you go somewhere and you feel like you're disoriented and you feel like something's squeezing your head, blah, 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 all this weird thing, just to let you know, that's what's causing it, okay? And yes, now I have to put the bracelet on to take it out for me. And it's relieving me right now. I have it on this hand as well. I'll show it to you. Okay. See it? The pretty version. Ha ha. Anyway, But I have 2 on right now, and it's, yes, when you absorb these, you can actually wear the Wonder Bracelet, and it will help you. Like I said, listen to the people who can feel these, and you will understand. And you won't have autoimmune disease, and you don't have any symptoms, and you live a healthy life because of this. And because of this too, that I'm going to have. It's like I stated, and I'll say it one more time, it is crazy that I have to do this, and it's crazy that I have to go through this route and spend all this money that I don't have to. But I have to. And yes, this room here, it's going to cost, these right here, it's going to cost like $500 total just to do. But that's the way it goes. But anyway, and yes, the Wonder Bracelet will help. Because like I said, I don't have anything grounded right now. So this will help me to take it out. And yes, I can feel it. I can feel just about 20 something minutes being in here. I don't like it already. Now imagine if I put that in and if I don't have grounded, I'm going to feel what I feel. And imagine people come in here and they're going to say, oh my, they're feeling something in the room, blah, 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 and they don't know what it is, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't even able to sell the house. Yup, isn't that crazy? But anyway, someday to sell the house. But isn't that crazy? When I sell the house, I'm going to disclose this, of course, because But anyway, yes, the Wonder Bracelet is helping me right now from being absorbed. Remember, because this is a perfect thing for you to understand, because it's not grounded. Remember, I always stated, and I will state it until the day I die, it has to be grounded. Okay? And because it's not, it's bouncing. So if you hear people who do not understand, one, they sell things and they have this, touch your skin. When you touch this to your skin, you're absorbing them all. Like I said, you can't even be in here without grounding, because I can't even be in here without grounding until it's grounded and I'm okay. But anyway, so that tells you that all these signals is being collected in this room. And when I'm in here, it absorbs into me and I'm breathing it. Remember, absorb and breathing. And because of that, I got a headache. And I didn't have the bracelet before, but now I do. It's in my wrist, see, because I have to take it out. Okay, so I hope you learned something extra from this bonus. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something from today. And I will see you in the next video.